First of all, thank you to everyone who's here to listen to us speak today. We are both not very great with communication. We help each other with communication, filling each other's blanks and all that. You'll see that throughout this session. So first, we'll begin with giving a brief of who we are. So we are currently married. We are two people who met at our higher secondary school in 2002, that is. And we have been best friends for like 15 years now. We have been in a relationship for 9 years now. And we got married in 2019. That is like 7 years now. And the most important part is that we are currently partners in almost everything we do, including work. It's really hard to see either of us separately, not because we are so codependent or anything. It's just because we support each other and we both of us are in that phase of our life where that support is very necessary to make our lives easier. We both make our lives easier. We have complementary skills. We have disabilities that the other person helps to mitigate. Yeah. So that's the gist of who we are together. And now going to who I am. So I completed my I studied engineering for my bachelor's. That was out of compulsion from my parents. I never wanted to study engineering. That was in computer science engineering. But then I can only claim to be a plus two pass out because I never bothered to complete the engineering papers, not because I was lazy, but because it was too much of stress. So there was a period in time when I was when I did not feel complete because I did not have a degree education, but not anymore. Then from engineering, after completing it, I went on to work in multiple media channels in Malayalam, starting with very low menial jobs up to being a media producer. Then I have also worked in freelance projects, different small ads, a couple of movies, documentaries, short films. In all of these things, I worked in the capacity as a director, sometimes an assistant to the director, as an actor, as a voice artist, as a camera person. Whatever opportunity came my way, I grabbed it and I worked it for all those years. Currently, I am not seriously involved in media related work. Throughout the session, once you listen to our story, you will understand why. Now,
Yeah. So I'm Rakesh. I I did my engineering in electronics and communication. After my college days, I started my own software company directly. Uh, I've been working there for 15 years now. Like till 2 years back. Left my company like 2 years back. Now I'm currently working in artificial intelligence as a systems architect in a UK-based firm.
so a brief about our diagnosis. I am ADHD and Rakesh has autism. We both grew up not knowing our differences. We were diagnosed only in 2021 and 2022. The stories of which will come later. And about giftedness, recognizing this giftedness has been like a journey we are still going through. We are still understanding our gifts and our disabilities with every passing day. So, since the topic of this discussion is mainly gifts and twice exceptionality, The main subject of our discussion today is going to be Rakesh and his gifts. That's because I keep hearing from everyone, from all the people I know at Spot, that Spot is filled with little Rakeshes. So we thought, why not keep this session more focused on Rakesh? So for the initial part of the session, I'll be doing more of the talking because talking good things about himself is not where Rakesh shines. And we have been given a list of questions the parents at Spot wanted answers for. We have tried to include some of the questions into our story. We'll be addressing some of those questions through our story, the narration of our story, and the remaining Rakesh will answer afterwards in his part. So I'll start with um, who Rakesh is as a person. So, for a neurodivergent, especially for a 2E person, the crux of who they are depends on solely, not solely, but depends majorly on their special interests. So, for Rakesh, all of these special interests forms his life, forms the reason why he's alive. Next. So coding is the love of his life. So Rakesh started coding at the age of 12. So his father was a software engineer. So while Rakesh was growing up, he had his father's books lying around, coding related books lying around, and he started reading those books randomly. And then he started coding on his own on his father's computer whenever it was free. And by the age of 14, he was doing projects for his father's company, and he has been coding ever since. He strongly believes that coding is not the boring job that people makes it out to be. Coding, he feels, is art. Do you want to talk about it now?
I don't have the.
Okay,
Yeah,
no
yeah,
problem.
yeah.
So Rakesh is currently quite preoccupied with a project he is working on. He got a problem 2 days ago and he is frustrated about not being able to find a solution for that. I'm quite sure the parents here will relate about not being able to shift the focus of their children from one topic to another. So Rakesh has had this love for machines all his life. He says machines are his friends, and the language of machines is more understandable for him, because than compared to the language of us humans, because
Because it's exact. It's because it's exact.
the language of machines is exact. We are like, we don't always mean what we say, right? We are not that exact. So he loves solving hard to solve problems. And regarding coding, he is completely self-learned because he did engineering in a different subject, electronics. So all the work he has been doing for what, 15 plus to 17 years now has all been self-learned. Um, then another interest of his is, I forgot to tell you.
Yeah.
So all this these these two videos you are seeing here, these are generational art, generative art, right? These computational art, those are just art he creates by coding. It's code running behind all these two videos, and this is just a side hobby that he does during his free time. This is one way in which he likes to spend his time. So another special interest of Rakesh is photography that he started like in his early 20s. And he had a brief period in between where he completely stopped photography because there was no appreciation or support from anyone. And there was a lot of criticism which he did not know how to deal with. So for a while he stopped photography, and over like 5 years ago he restarted photography. You can see he is good with it. Then he has a bit of love for art. So Rakesh actually still struggles with holding a pen and writing properly. He cannot, you can see the signatures at the bottom of the two pictures. Every time he puts his signature, it looks different. Still, he cannot replicate his signature properly. But then, given a medium that is forgiving enough, like digital art, he can do hit undo, and watercolors is forgiving. So using such mediums, he is able to create art. Um, then another is videography. This is a special interest he discovered only like 3 4 years ago, and this he started doing because of immense pressure from my side, because I needed help with my work. And then he went on and becoming better at it than I am. These are all uh, just fun projects we try at home to learn videography. Then another interest he found out because of me is cooking, because I love to eat good food. Yeah, that's it. And the best thing that happened because of his autism diagnosis is that after autism diagnosis, he started writing about his experiences online. And that has been a cathartic experience. That is a highly therapeutic experience for Rakesh. He has been meeting people, talking to people who share his experience, and that is helpful. So, is someone trying to say something?
No, you can go ahead. I think
Oh,
somebody accidentally unmuted.
yeah, yeah. So, of all these special interests or gifts we talked about, as a person who has seen Rakesh so close for so many years now, I believe his biggest gift is this infinite curiosity that he has. He is curious about anything and everything under the sun. So, for instance, anyone can ask him a question about what retinol does for the skin, or what vitamin C does for the skin, because every time I'm putting on makeup or every time I'm putting on some skincare, he's standing right beside me asking me, what is this? What does it contain? What does it do for the skin? So the curiosity is very real. So, to understand his journey, I'll start from the childhood. So, Rakesh grew up not knowing his gifts, not knowing that he was special in any way. Sure, the people around him thought of him as a kid who could study well and who was intelligent, but that was that. He was never the center of attention, he was never the gifted one. And more so because his gifts were silent, he was also silent. He never um,
Why does
pardon me.
Are you hearing echo or something? I think someone is accidentally unmuting. I'll take care of it though.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, sure, sure. Sure.
So Um, so his gifts were majorly silent. No one thought of him as gifted, and giftedness was not a term anyone talked about in those days. But then he was not the best at anything while growing up, or not noticed for anything. Sure, there was this one odd physics teacher or a computer teacher who noticed that, okay, this dude is sitting at the corner of the class and finishing all hard to solve problems in a matter of minutes. But that was like an exception, that was not a rule. So, and regarding studies, Rakesh would just listen in class to whatever is being taught, and after coming back home, he would never bother to turn the page of his books. So what happened is whatever subjects he had actual interest in, he scored good marks for that, and whichever subjects he did not like, he barely passed them. Like the languages, history, geography, Malayalam, Hindi, all of that. He barely passed those. And one thing that his parents did good about it is not focusing on the scores. His father is a rebel just like me and him. So he did not care about the whole school system as long as Rakesh understood the crux of what he's learning. So he grew up somewhat unbothered by the heaviness of all these academic expectations. He just always wanted to have fun with whatever he's doing, and still he wants to have fun with the work he's doing. So without the torture of years-long coaching classes, he completed this engineering entrance and got into a good, fairly good college near engineering college near his house, and where he completed his electronics and communications. And as soon as he passed out, he opted out of campus placements and went on to start his own company. So from this point onwards, there are like two different stories that happened in parallel. One is his career story, and the other is this story of our relationship, our diagnosis, and how we understood our giftedness. So the first one is this career story, which is a very important story, something every neurodivergent and their allies, we believe, should be careful about. This is a story we haven't talked about in public so far, so this will be the first time. So, like I mentioned before, he formed this company with two friends from college. And for this company, he did deep research. He solved hard to bust problems. He made really technologically sound, stable products. He was always working on the most current technology, starting from Bitcoin and blockchain to currently AI. So, in this company, he structured his work in a way that he would be doing all the core tech research and coding, and the other partners were involved in with the sides of the job they were best at, like marketing, management, designing, front end, and all of those. It was actually a solid team in the beginning, and everyone was actually doing what they were best at. It was actually a too good to be true scenario, but until it was not. So 15 years later, painfully, we realized that things were not as great as we thought it was. So what was happening was, over the years, the all the credit of the work that was being done by Rakesh was being taken away by whoever presented Rakesh's work. And so from winning in hackathons to being funded for his work, all the credit, all the perks of the work that was coming in, everything went on to the person who was presenting it, who was in the forefront, and not the person who actually did the work. So this was a sad situation, and but the saddest part was that Rakesh thought it was all okay. Him being invisible, him being disrespected, him being not given the credit for his work was okay. He thought so because he did not have this gift of gap. So he thought this is how it is supposed to be. But and he kept spending hours and hours breaking down complex tech problems, concepts, and everything to his partners, and then they would go on and present these as their own findings and their own learnings, and taking away all the perks. This kept on continuing for around 15 years. Around like the 10th year or something, I came in and I stepped in as a friend. I forced him to start giving speeches, to start giving tech sessions on his own. So my experience as a media producer actually helped a bit there. And then he went on to give some good tech sessions in some respectable places. This picture is him giving a speech on blockchain technology in UST Trivandrum. So, but even then, within the company, he was being singled out even from the functioning of the company. Data about the company was being held away from him. He was not given access to the relevant company information, including accounts. So this was a really heartbreaking realization for Rakesh, and it took years for him to understand and cope with the betrayal and to build himself up from there. So from 2023, there is another twist in the story. So meanwhile, to help Rakesh with all of this situation, I had to take a U-turn in my career, and I had to reacquaint myself with all this technology things I left 15 years ago after college, because I did not care about it. I did not feel passionate about it. But the situation came that I had to understand coding and tech to an extent in order to be helpful for Rakesh in his career. So then I familiarized myself with all the advancements in the field like only to the extent that is needed to help him. I acquainted myself with all those stuff. And then Rakesh started taking freelance jobs. From 2023, he started taking freelance jobs as an advisor, as a coder, and all that. And I would be helping him with the communication part with these employers. And all of those were like short-term work because none of them seemed feasible in the long term, because the employers were not very accommodative of our differences, of our different needs. And there were even employers who did not want me to be doing the communication part for Rakesh. They could not they could not wrap their head around the fact that he needed a person to communicate, to support him with the communication, or I practically showed them how the communication was getting better when I am in the room. But even then, for some reason, they were not okay with it. But after a lot of trial and error in 2025, we found a team where we started as a freelance job, which started as a freelance job. And currently, we are in a long-term employment with them. This is a very understanding team that has been accommodating us very well. So I am part of every meeting that he is part of. I try to be as invisible as possible, but then stepping in to help him with the communication, with all non-technical aspects of the work. As and when required, but I will be the part of the meeting. And this whole uncommon dynamic, uh, this particular employer was very accommodating of, and the whole team is very accommodating of Rakesh's differences. Touch wood. So that's where we are standing right now. Um, so, as a moral of this story, I would want to tell this that finding an employer or finding any work related work or school or any kind of relationships that are um, accommodative of our differences is kind of like a trial and error process that involves a lot of disappointment. And when we actually chose this employer, finally, it was not the most economically rewarding choice that we made. We weighed in all the pros and cons and future prospects, but we had to prioritize long-term growth and emotional health over that immediate monetary benefits. So that is where we are standing right now. And I believe this is a very important story, because being taken advantage of is a story we hear repeated in the case of two people. Now we come to the second story of our relationship and the diagnosis. Um, do you want to speak?
Yeah, this part.
Oh. So, like I told before, we were classmates during our higher secondary school. So we never became friends there, and there was a reason why we never became friends at school. So, from what I remember, Rakesh was this ever smiling, silent kid who was very helpful to everyone with their work, with their homeworks, even in showing the answer sheets during exam time. I have passed a few practical examinations because of him. All of this was going on, but then we never developed a real bond because I tried. I seriously, genuinely tried. But then every time I asked him a question, it was followed by just a single word answer and a smile. So I tried, but I did not know how to take that conversation further. Then what happened is, come the age of social media, in Facebook, I started sharing photographs, not like I was interested in photography. He was parallelly interested in photography, so he was sharing photographs he took, and I was sharing photographs I took. And because there we found a common special interest, he started talking to me. And that day he started talking to me, and he never stopped talking. So during from then on, we became very good friends, going on to become best friends for each other. And during this period, Rakesh one day came to me with a list of these symptoms, what they call Asperger's syndrome, and asked me.
This was like 10 years back.
This was in 2011.
2011, no.
Yeah,
10
that
years,
is
more
like
than- more
15
than
years ago.
15. Yes.
So he came to me and gave me this list of symptoms and asked me if he has any of these symptoms. So I glanced through it, and my answer right away was, no, you are just an idiot with a giant brain. So not proud of it now, but that's what I did as a 24-year-old then. So him being too much was never an issue during those days, um, which I realize now that it was because he was masking and struggling within. And there were a few petty fights, nothing we couldn't handle. Uh, uh, Nothing that bothered me, but apparently all of those fights had left long-term bruises in his heart, which I came to know about later. So then, by around 2016, 2017, we both went through a very hard phase in our lives, our individual personal lives. So Rakesh was going through a burnout, an emotional burnout, and difficulty in kind of skill regression, difficulty in going on with his work and everything. And I was personally going through a lot of health issues. And we did not have anyone else to go seeking help or support. So then we started supporting each other in every which way we could. So we started doing things together, helping each other with work and everything. And eventually we got into a relationship. So by that time, we started spending all of our waking hours together in my home, where we had my niece, who was an ADHD diagnosed 2-year-old. So we were watching this girl, like we were very close with her. We were watching this girl, and we got to know she is diagnosed ADHD, and we did not understand why, because we did not see anything different with her. She was just like us. So we did not understand why she is labeled an ADHD girl. Uh, we, the three of us, formed a very unique kind of bond. The age difference did not matter at all. We were like three peers. We would talk about even the most complex matters, including feminism. And it was during that period that the Shabarimala issue and all happened. And we had this discussion about the Shabarimala temple entry thing with this 3-year-old, which he easily grasped um, and had strong emotions about. So, watching her grow up, actually, even I had doubts about my ADHD through this period. So, watching her grow up in front of our eyes made us think, reconsider our neurodivergences at that time. And eventually, and during this relationship thing, there were pretty ugly fights between both of us, but we still somehow stuck together. And by 2019, we were married and started living together. So, living together was a whole another experience. When I started living with him in the same house, I started seeing many more facets of his disabilities, the intensity of his disabilities that I never had seen before. So uh, and at a point, it became very hard for us to maintain this whole independent living thing because we lived separately. We have always lived separately after the marriage, and we never had parents supporting us much. So maintaining. Even though we opted for a work from home situation, we tried reducing our responsibilities. We tried simplifying our lives. Even then, we were not able to maintain the regular routine. So, so there arised a need for finding a solution, and we tried therapy of all different kinds, multiple therapists. Nothing helped. But meanwhile, through our friendship, we had this habit of talking about our internal experiences, about our introversion, about our experience, sensory experiences, cognitive differences, in whatever language we knew about it then. We talked about how my brain works with internal monologues, whereas he works with visual processing. So there was this whole journey of reading books about all these things, discussing these things, and finally we reached into reading about ADHD and autism. And that is how we finally self-diagnosed ourselves as ADHD and autistic, and then went on to get our final diagnosis by 2021 and 2022. So there was this question from the parents about autonomy.
Yeah.
Let's see what Rakesh has to say about autonomy.
Okay. So while growing up, I've always had trouble with the structured school plan and all that. I uh, I could never um, adjust to the schedule they would put up. So every evening after coming home, I would schedule plans for myself to do things, to learn things. In a like from an outside perspective, it might look like an unstructured kind of learning, but then it was very well structured for me. I had a goal. I wanted to accomplish that, and I used to do that. I used to learn random. It would look random, but it is not. Uh, so, um, so what I found out was every time I did not have that unstructured time, my brain slowed down. It would stop working after a while. It is like it will get overwhelmed, and so also I the another thing I noticed was all of these special interests that people talk about. None of this I could do on cue. If someone asks me to draw a picture, I won't be able to. I cannot. It is a state of my brain where it automatically happens. Where how do you say it?
Your brain has to reach that point of
Yeah,
stimulation where it flows out.
It flows out. It just happens, and if on a separate day, I won't even be able to hold that brush properly to draw. So, So I needed that controlled environment. That's what I realized. But then the only thing I could do, like uh, periodically, very on a consistent basis, was coding. That came at very huge personal cost because I would hyper focus on it. I would not sleep. I would not eat properly. I would not maintain my health properly. So all of that, and like.
But you managed to.
But then I have never missed a deadline when it's like real world projects. I have never missed a deadline.
A coding project.
Coding project. The rest of the things I do are side projects, so I can do it anytime I want. So it's okay. So what so I've always needed this autonomy, this freedom to explore, freedom to do what I want. So even in my work, I found it by like always like she said before, I gave up, like I separated myself from all the aspects of running a company that I was not interested in. And also, I used to like, I have never done the same kind of work twice because that always bored me. So I would always keep changing the technology I use or the way I do something. Or
You always pick and choose
I
projects.
I would always pick and choose project. The next project I want to work is in AI, so I learn like that. So something like that. So and also she talked about cooking. I cannot cook on cue either. I cook when like I cook for my loved ones because I like expressing my love through cooking. It's not very pleasant thing to do. It's not a very pleasant thing to do. It's actually very overwhelming in some ways. But then I like doing it because I think of it as a chemistry experiment, seeing all of these things change form and at the ability to create good tasting food out of these raw materials is kind of like a very interesting challenge.
But then you cannot do it for a
Yeah,
random person.
yeah. If someone comes and asks me to make some particular dish that I've made before, that I don't like, that I may not be able to do. Yeah. So
That's your take on
that's on my
autonomy.
take on autonomy. Yeah, yeah,
I did
yeah,
that.
sure.
So, are we running out of time? Is
Uh, eh, we can take questions, but if you would like, you can continue for 5 more minutes with
Oh,
the
sure.
conversation, and then we can start taking.
Yeah, sure. So about autonomy, my take is that, okay, I'll explain my experience trying to support him. Initially, my supporting him was through advising, correcting, putting him in, giving him exposure therapy, like putting him in random situations which he is anxious about. And when none of this worked, I would get angry, telling him that he did not try enough. So, but eventually, I learned what actually works. And what actually works is at one point, I had to let go of my urge to help him. And I stopped trying to control the situation. And the most revolutionary thing I believe I have done for him is biting my tongue every time I felt like advising him and just listening to him and validating his experience. And when I say listening to him, I mean listening to him for hours or every day for like the last 5 years or so, ever since the diagnosis. And but the good thing that happens out of all of this is then at that point when he feels validated, he doesn't need solutions to come from me. He finds his solutions, he executes his solution. All he ever needed was that validation that what he is experiencing is real. So when I started acting from this space of desperation and actually trusted his ability to make things work for himself, actually things started working out. Then,
Yeah,
about,
there was a question about this, right?
yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, about being too much. I've always been labeled too emotional, too stubborn, always crying and all that. Yeah, so the question was about how it helps me, my sensitivity and all that. It is not very helpful for me. The sensitivity part is not very helpful for me. The most helpful part of all of this is the hyper focus that comes with all of this, where I can completely focus on my work while ignoring everything else. That has helped me a lot with work. But then, because of these sensory sensitivities and all that, I've always tried to stay away from the spotlight. I've always tried to shrink myself away from everyone, and also all of these criticisms of being too much. I've heard it like till I started my own company. I've heard it. So I even started my own company because I wanted to stay away from people. So so I won't hear these things. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
yeah.
So, yeah, about my take on being too much. He actually did not seem too much to me because I was also too much as a neurodivergent person myself. But what I was not prepared to handle was the meltdowns. So, these meltdowns came as this unexpected, all of a sudden thing that came out of nowhere for no apparent reason, and it was like a blast. uh, I and Since we were living together, no one else to help, I did not know how to handle these meltdowns. Involved blaming first, blaming me, and then blaming the whole world for everything that is wrong with anything around him. Then it involved a lot of physical energy, and it involved a lot like physical energy that he did not know what to do with, and that would end up in him harming himself somehow. And so over the years, what I figured out is that this pattern of what happens during a meltdown is that what seems to be out of nowhere and is actually not out of nowhere. What he says is the last thing. What he fixates on is, of course, the last thing that happened that pushed him out that threshold point. And the blame would go on that threshold point, and invariably I would be associated with that last thing that happened, and all the blame would come on my head. So once I understood this pattern, I stopped taking things personally. I tried to see it as just a situation that where he needs my support and empathy. And learning to co-regulate was a huge difference, made a huge difference. And now whenever there is a meltdown that is about to happen, what I try to do is, if we are at home, I try to create a comfortable space around him, his comfortable temperature, drinks that calms him down, comfortable lighting and everything. And if we are not at home, and to make sure that he's safe, nothing else matters. And these things happen all of a sudden. There will be a lot of canceling our appointments or something, canceling plans and everything, but that is a part of life that we have coped with, that we have taken as part of our life existence. And if we are outside home while a meltdown is happening, what I try to find is a safe space, a corner, a room where he can safely have that meltdown. And we have had very many meltdowns in the car, even recently in our car. So, and after a meltdown, I like whatever was said and done during a meltdown, he never remembers these things, what happened. So after the meltdown and after he has calmed down, he's back to regulation. I would explain to him whatever the things he said, and we would discuss whether any of that actually meant something whether any of that actually needed intervention. We had to do something, whether any of it is actually bothering him. And most often than not, none of it actually matters to him. None of it actually bothers to him. It was just a spur of the moment, getting his energy out kind of a thing. Then I try to take the time to re-regulate myself after all of this, because all of this is very heavy on. I am quite sure all of you, the parents out here, know that it is very heavy. So I take the time to re-regulate myself, and Rakesh is also very understanding of all that. So that is the meltdown story. Now maybe we can take questions as we planned.
If you would like, how long is the presentation? Like, how many more slides are there?
I have no idea.
Uh,
Maybe we can go to questions and come back to this.
we have
We reached 29th slide. There are like 40.
40, but then most of them are questions, right?
Yeah, most of them are the questions you gave.
Okay, then let's just continue. At around 8:05, I'll just remind you once more, and we'll start taking questions at 8:05.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, fine. So, in helping Rakesh with all his problems, one thing that helped me most is trying to understand his experience, the reasons to why things happen inside his head the way they do. So, for instance, he explains to me how he codes. He is actually able to do all the coding inside his head with his visual memory, alter the code inside his head. Of course, he cannot run it inside his head. He wishes he could. Um, so that gave me perspective as to why he got dysregulated every time I disturbed him while he was like walking around thinking something. I did not know he was coding inside his head. Similarly, how he cooks, the thing that makes him good with cooking is that he can kind of imagine. Hyperphantasia is the ability to imagine things to an extreme extent. So for him, he is able to imagine the taste of something. So when he is cooking, he can mix the taste of, you say, strawberries with this taste of cream to an extent. He is not extremely hyperphantasiac, but
in that particular category.
In that particular category, visually he is extreme hyperphantasiac, but so he can mix up these things inside his tongue and then think, okay, will this go well with this thing? Okay, then he creates his recipes and all that. So then that gave perspective about why he is so dysregulated after we planned to cook something and then we were not able to. We had to change the plan because he went through all this effort of creating a whole recipe inside his head and making structuring it inside his head, waiting for the moment he could do it. So he experiences emotions as colors. That is something we found out recently. He sees people he loves as yellow and orange. He sees sadness as blue, all those things. So the wide range of experiences that can go on inside the human brain. I, for one, cannot understand how all of this is happening, cannot even believe all of these things can happen inside a human brain. But of course, I believe him. And these are all things that have been scientifically figured out. So, yeah. So, for instance,
Yeah, I just had one thing that I think the previous was a parent had asked, right? I think that skill regression environment matters, right? For example, when you get little stuck with your particular skill, like, how do you kind of move forward from there? I think that's a challenge a lot of the, gifted kids also face.
yeah. Do you want to answer that?
Can you start? Then
Yeah.
I'll join in.
So basically what happens is if he is trying to do a particular task and he is not able to do that, what helps is taking a break from that particular thing, not even trying to do anything remotely associated with that particular skill, and taking
When it's regressed.
when it's regressed for a period of
I
time.
had to take time off from coding. For
Yeah.
example, in 2016, I was not able to write code in my head for a few 2 years or something. I
And
was not
without writing code in his head, he could not
to
do
do
it
the
on computer. So for a while, he was not able to code. So taking
Good
time
evening.
off.
uh,
Did you say
No?
something?
hello.
Hello?
No, continue.
Can I
think
talk?
Yeah.
No, am I interrupting something or is there a time to talk? Or can I ask something now?
Hi, Pritham. Would you mind waiting 5 minutes? Then we'll be
It's okay,
taking.
ma'am. It's no issues.
If I saw your question, so we will definitely address it, but just give us 5 minutes. Hope that's okay.
So yeah, with skill regression, what has worked most is like when he is unable to code, that is like something involving the logical side of the brain. That is when he went into art and kept on painting. Like he studied digital painting by drawing these lemons and oranges over and over again. This love for repetitive tasks helped there. And when he engaged the other side, the creative side of his brain, slowly, actually, he started feeling better. This was something that the skill he gained it back over years, step by step. But then what helped during that period is engaging other, and even now when there is a period of a block
Yeah.
period, he would just go into watching animes for a few days or playing games for a few days,
Or paint for a few days.
or paint for a few days. Those are the things that usually help him. Then all of the things that nourish him, good food, taking
Nature.
like good rest, all of those things, feeling like recharging your physical self, all of that helps.
Yeah.
Anything else you can remember?
This is what I remember.
Yeah, that's it.
So should I move on to the next slide?
Is that okay?
Is it
with
okay if I
like-
ask a question here?
Sure.
So I actually want to understand from my personal context. I would say I'm recovering from a multi-year burnout. I had that entire skill regression phase, cannot read anything, etc., etc. Right? Wanted to understand, like, I think I related to a lot of the things that you folks already mentioned around, let's say, just relaxing and trying to indulge in repetitive activities. Very similar situation in terms of my mother had to fly down here. I have never had meltdowns like this before, so on and so forth. Right. Now what I want to understand is, like, in the long term, like when you're saying your coding ability has recovered and so on, and let's say how you work, etc. Do you ever go to like any specific kind of doctors or therapists or anything which help? Because like for me right now, I feel like I'm having sensory issues, right? Like in the sense I have always gotten really irritated with Bangalore traffic. And for me, it's like, I've always, the second I started earning money, first year of work, for example, I would feel guilty about, spending on AC cabs because you're not earning a lot in your first year of work. By second or third year, I gave up. I was like, I don't like this, right? But I think it reached a point, let's say by the time the burnout hit, where I won't even like going out of the house because of how noisy it is. And so I think what I'm trying to understand is, from a, let's say let's say these things which worsen a lot more during burnout, which you don't even maybe knew that you had the capability for it to go to this extent, right? Like for me it would be maybe sensory issues, or I would also say maybe learning styles. Like right now I'm not able to um, read for a long period on the laptop because vertical scrolling. For me it's ADHD and potentially also autism on the side. Like adults diagnosis doesn't happen properly, right? So like I'm literally printing out papers and spreading them across the room, and read, like all my highlighters are out. It's like I'm in class 11 and trying to study. So I think my question is basically, apart from the self-care things you can try at home and educating family and closed ones and so on and so forth, did you ever try to go to any kind of doctors, like, because what I saw at least is a lot of the doctors etc were geared towards kids, and when somebody came in as an adult and said I'm having these issues, uh, at least for me it's been a hard time to find the right kind of doctor and whom to go to, because they generally, like, just do therapy, like the emotion regulation side of it, but the sensory stuff does not get addressed, or those things are not getting addressed.
So we have been to psychiatrists multiple times.
Psychologist too.
No, psychologists and psychiatrists, right? Psychiatrists,
Psychologist too.
yeah,
Yeah.
psychologists too multiple times. We haven't had any real long-term help we got from them, but there were times when he took medications for depression and anxiety and all that. When there were times when he could not sleep at all, so the sleep medications helped. He was completely depressed to the point that he could not get out of bed. So at that time, the depression medicines helped. But all of those was like to get him from one phase to give him the first,
Right.
the first step.
Yeah, the first boost. Even for me, like, I think I'm still on my anxiety, depression. I'm on my ADHD meds. I think it's been almost a year for me now at the point of diagnosis.
So
Did
I
you?
have been on ADHD medicines for like 3-4 years. Ever since I understood my ADHD, I cannot live without my ADHD medicines. That is a whole, yeah. Even today, I am speaking only because of the medicines. So that one is unavoidable, and I don't think that is a phase that with a head that is coded that way. If you reached a point where the medicines are necessary, I would say continue the medicines if it's helping.
The ADHD medicine.
The ADHD medicine, but the
Right.
depression, the other stuff, no.
Yeah, that I think will come off also. Like, so that is
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
I think one.
Twista, can we move forward? Like, I think,
Sure.
yeah, sure. Thank you.
Sure.
We'll start taking questions, Hitha, and
Yeah.
then we'll just come back to the presentation. Hope that's okay.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people have questions. Preetham, do you want to ask the question? Preetham, you can
Yes,
go ahead.
good evening, Rakesh sir and Hitha ma'am.
Hi.
Hi.
Stop.
So my concern is, see, I was not there like for most of this thing. Like just now, I checked my email and I saw that I had registered for this. Completely forgot about this. Then now I joined, and I was going through what y'all were showing and all, and about your son, that how he recognizes things and how he goes about by with the help of colors and all.
Not
But
about
then,
about my son. It's about him, Rakesh, my husband.
okay,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Preetham is
okay,
also a
sorry.
neurodivergent adult, by the way. I mean, just
Oh, okay.
putting the context clear. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm a person like keeps forgetting things. That is part of it, and I forget things, and mostly the issue with me is, behavioral issues is mostly the thing with me. And I have severe problems when it comes to people not being able to accept my behavior or misunderstanding me or things like that. And it's even happened with my fellow neurodivergent community.
We are listening, Preetham. Yeah.
So, so what are the things you would suggest for, people who are mostly, have issues with behavioral problems, and, even people wherein people who even, like promise to help such people, uh, they promised them at first that they would help them, they would always be there for them, but then, they got annoyed and they stopped helping because,
Yeah.
they really that behavior was too overwhelming for them. And
Yeah, so I think Preetham's question is mostly in terms of how do one neurodivergent person takes care of the another neurodivergent person, because I think all of us, like, struggle for bandwidths, and I think he had experience where he joined neurodivergent groups where others felt that he was, like, too. I mean, we overshare and we tend to be, like, taking a lot of those space. So I think there is a question around that. So how did you cope up with that in social settings, in your relationships, and in other spaces also?
So
I was very socially avoidant. Thank you.
Rakesh has always been socially avoidant in his life. But once we found out the autism, we got the diagnosis. He did try to make friends, make communication with other neurodivergent people. But we thought it would be before the whole experience. We thought that once we start communicating with neurodivergent people, we'll find a tribe and everything will be all right from there on, which is not the case, because each of these neurodivergent people are going through their own set of problems. They are overwhelmed with their own set of problems. So, um, forming those strong connections is definitely a really hard task. Um, uh, Really, there is no one solution there we can suggest, but
It is not something we have found a solution for.
yeah, we somehow, fortunately, we happen to find each other who have very complementary skills. Um, but things are not that easy. Even between us, there is a lot of
Ups and downs.
ups and downs, a lot of what is the word, compromises, lot of learning together. For the first 3 4 years of our marriage, we were just fighting each other. But yeah, it's not an easy journey. I hear you.
So with Rakesh sir also it's been the same situation where he thought people would be understanding when people seem to be understanding and all, but eventually very soon, like within a day or something, they found out that his behavior is just too much, and you know he he's somebody who thinks no end of himself, things like that.
Yep, I have been left by a lot of friends.
Yeah, even today, even when he has made friendships where
Few months.
yeah, that is what I was trying to say. He had a friend who completely stopped talking to him like 2 3 months ago. This was a friendship who he had been maintaining for over 3 4 years, doing things for her, being there for her on a regular basis. But for the slightest of inconvenience, because he questioned something she did, she just left without any iota of love or friendship. So that is,
I'm used to that cycle.
yeah, that is a cycle even I have been used to, but
Even
not
when
to
we
this
met,
extent.
I used to tell her that there's this pattern that she would leave.
So he used to keep saying, you are here now, you will leave in a few days. You are here, you will leave, you will leave. And then that used to irritate me, and I would shut down the computer and go away. But then for
See,
something,
so
yeah.
and so recently, like
Preetham,
this
Preetham, can we take another question,
Preetham,
Preetham? We
yeah,
can have
Preetham,
another
hope you don't
conversation.
mind.
Yeah.
We just move to the next question, and we can definitely have a separate conversation if you would like to connect later on. Okay. So Richa had asked this question, which is also the theme of the webinar. What do you wish your parents knew? Like, what is something you would, if you were, if you would go back to your parents and tell them that I wish you knew this when you were bringing me up, and you would probably follow in your life.
What help?
Yeah.
Listened
I
more.
know that it is a bit of a generalist question, so if you would like, we can take other questions as
No,
well.
no. He has the answer. He just needs needs help for the
I wish
words.
they had listened more. Listened as in there were things that I listened with all their senses. I not just listen to words because I was struggling with words. I wish they understood that I was struggling with words. Um, I wish they understood all the pain I was going through every single day. I wish they understood that I am not lazy. I'm not like I'm not doing these things
Deliberately.
on purpose. Um,
Mhm.
so Yeah. Can you help?
Yeah, even this is a still ongoing problem with his parents, especially his father. Him being an extrovert, it's very hard for him to listen. And the thing with Rakesh is, it takes him a lot of time to form his words. So if I need to listen to what is going on inside his head, I have to keep away everything else and come and sit with him and listen to him. Sit there. Even it might take 5 minutes for him to form a sentence. We need to give him that gap.
Especially when it's
Very emotional, complex thought, when he is figuring something out, all of this. If someone listens to him, it actually helps him understand things better. But that listening takes, I think I told it this already. For the last few years, this has been a major job I have been doing, listening to him for hours and hours on a daily basis. So that's how he figured out a lot of things. That's how we were able to make changes in our lives, which made life easier for him. So still, our problem with his parents is that, especially his father, is that he doesn't listen.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Rakesh would like his parents to listen, and probably all the parents listening to listen not just with your ears but with all your senses.
Yeah.
Richa is also asking like what do you wish your parents knew, and how did your ADHD diagnosis and hyperfocus affect you? There's some things she wanted.
Okay. As for my ADHD, um, I was always labeled the kid who, again, the lazy kid, because one day I would be solving math problems, difficult ones, and everything, and the next day I wouldn't be able to like read out a sentence from a chapter. So it was an ongoing um, theme of my life where educators have been telling again and again that she has great potential, but she is lazy. She has great potential, but she is lazy. I knew that was not. I was struggling. I wanted to learn. I was struggling to catch up with the whole curriculum. So yeah, that is one thing. I was not being lazy. I tried my best. Yeah.
I think a lot of neurodivergent children would relate with the fact that they're labeled lazy with potential. So that makes sense. We can take any other questions if any parents have. You can raise your hands or unmute yourself and start asking. We'll just give them a minute.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Mamta. I have a 14-year-old daughter who is on the neurodivergent spectrum. She doesn't have an official diagnosis. Both my husband and me are doctors, so we are still in the process. One thing, since a therapist picked this up, and since then been trying to educate myself and support her as much as I can. One thing she does struggle with is going to bed on time and then waking up in the morning. So, are there any tips or anything which I can put in place which might help her? Uh, so, uh, since we have come to the thing, the situation is much better, but any help or any advice is much appreciated. Thank you.
Yeah. So this is an ongoing problem I face because ADHD is associated with this delayed sleep phase thing. I struggle so much to get out of bed in the morning, and throughout the afternoon, I am a bit like low energy, and come evening, I am like up and running. And
Yes.
by night, I cannot sleep. But life situations don't allow that. So currently, I depend on melatonin. I have been on melatonin for like how many years? 4, 5 years now.
Melatonin spray.
Melatonin spray.
Not
Okay.
the tablet.
The tablet did not work for me, and the spray gives a
Very low dose.
and that works faster. And that thing has been I know I am no one to give a medical
Yeah.
suggestions, but this is
No,
what
it is helpful. At least I can look into those things and things. So thank you very much.
Yeah.
Also using yellow lights and all.
Also using yellow lights. That is something
What is this yellow lights? I'm not familiar with it.
So basically, in our house, we have arranged everything in a way that it is helpful for our new differences. So every room has both yellow and white lights. I like white lights.
Okay.
White lights wake me up. Yellow lights
Mm.
make me feel like sleepy.
Mm.
So if I turn off all the white lights in the rooms in the home, by evening and turn everything into yellow light, slowly I start feeling like drowsy and sleepy.
Okay.
And the first thing I do in the morning when I wake up is turn on all the white lights on so that it wakes
Okay.
me up. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mamta. So Siri had a question. Siri, would you like to ask the question or would you like me to read it?
If you can read it, that would be helpful.
Yes, Sri, you're not clear. I'll just read her question. Any suggestions with respect to time management and household chores, especially with respect to safety and security in home and also outside?
Yeah. Safety and security for an ADHD person only comes with, in my experience, only comes with medicine. At least at this stage of mine, it comes only with the medicine. I cannot go out without the medicine. My ADHD medicines have started giving me slight side effects of this jaw pain, but still I cannot go outside without the medicine. So I just suffer through the jaw pain and take the medicines anyway. And with respect to time management and household chores, these are areas in
We
which
did
we
it through
struggle.
simplifying our lives.
Yeah, we did it by simplifying our life, which started with reducing the number of meals. We eat only 2 meals a day, and so automatically we trained ourselves to be okay with 2 meals. So that reduced the number of household chores. Then we
Arrange
are
everything
taking as much
functionally.
functional arrangement of things. There is something called the point of action arrangement. So if I have to do something, if I have to do laundry, everything that is necessary for doing laundry will be in that particular space. If I need my bathrooms clean, even if I have two bathrooms, I should have all the cleaning things, a separate set of cleaning stuff in those two bathrooms. I cannot carry be it for bathrooms, be it for wash basins, whatever. Anything that needs to be cleaned needs to have the cleaning supplies just right there in invisible areas. I should not have to think about it and then go somewhere and take the stuff and come back and do it. So point of action.
Very chaotic from the outside, but then
everything is arranged as per our differences. And then we take help from all these gadgets, starting from
we have a robot vacuum cleaner, we have
a dishwasher, whatever makes life easy for us. After the diagnosis, we have decided not to feel guilty about doing all those things. We try to make things as simple as possible. Sometimes this perfectionism, sometimes this being environmentally trying to be environmentally friendly, and all of these things get in the way. So I try to reason down some parts of my brain that says, no, don't use too much tissue papers, don't use that kind of cleaning agents, that's harmful for the environment. I try to silence all those parts
that we cannot fight right now.
That's a war that cannot be fought by people who are in this state of affairs. So we
had to compromise.
We compromise there. So it's not it's always about making things easier for us, not about forcing ourselves with willpower.
That
So
doesn't work
that doesn't work.
because that works for 2 days. Then
Yeah,
it goes
then
up.
we are down for a week. So what has sustainably worked is this
Simplifying
the life
simplifying
around
the
us,
number of
taking
steps.
help
Yeah.
from technology, from whatever, delegating tasks whichever possible, reducing the number of times we are going out, taking even though
I think
Swiggy.
I've not gone out in 3 months.
Yeah, he hasn't. I have. Even, yeah, for medical reasons, that too. And yeah, so for home delivery and everything, these are actually costly, but that is the ADHD and autism tax we are paying. Yeah.
I think it is very important to, be functional and not be hard on yourself. That is where it comes from. Hida, I think we can just go back to the presentation and see if we can finish it. So, because we have taken up a lot of questions and try to answer them within the presentation, and then we'll see and take another 1 or 2 questions at say 8:30, and then we close. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Should I share this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where does the presentation go? Where did I close it? The desktop.
Yeah. So
It was here, right? Here.
yeah.
So
So this is just a curious thing Rakesh does. This is about the different modes of communication he uses to express his thoughts and his pain and everything because he cannot express them through words. So the first picture, do you want to explain?
yeah, I can explain a few words, so you explain the rest of it.
Yeah.
So the first picture is about being perceived, or what I feel when I get perceived, even now. Yeah. So it's more, it's like a very draining feeling, like people knowing that I exist. People knowing that I exist as an agent that can make changes in this world is a very draining experience. The second one, so that is something I could not put into words like 2 years back. I drew this 2 years back, I think. So this is how I expressed it to her. So the next picture is about we talked about health issues. One of the health issues I had was I had this cervical nerve impingement, which was like making my hands numb all the time. So it was very painful. Uh, it- so through that time also I couldn't code because I couldn't type. Typing was hard. It would start hurting very much and it would go numb. And so my skill works on hyper focus. So when the pain goes too much, I can ignore a lot of pain when I'm in hyper focus. I don't notice some certain things, but then when your own, like, the fingers go numb, it's like
You
it's
could
like
not ignore
I
it.
could not ignore it. So this is about
The nerve pain, and it is his take on him trying to find the silver lining on the nerve pain.
and
That is that picture.
like after that picture, I was able to like work, like find specific exercises for this particular condition, and I was able to improve. Like I reduced my pain for about, now it's about like 50% of the pain is like gone. So I am able to like work for like longer. So the third picture you can explain.
The third picture is about this. This is about love language. So this is about an experience of mine that I shared with him. So I used to go to the terrace of my home and create this small nook, reading nook with blankets and everything, and sit there and read or do whatever I wanted to do for hours. So I had shared this experience with him some time, and then that remained in his head, and he painted this for me at a time when I was actually emotionally very down, and this one actually helped cheer me up. So what I'm trying to say is that there are so many different modes of communication that Rakesh uses, and probably each of these kids use. And using all their gifts, they can express a lot of their. It's only until they figure out their mode of communication that um, we remain in the dark. So this is something he coded as a birthday wish to his niece. We talked about early. So yeah, using all his skills to communicate, the desperation to communicate, that is what you see here. Then there was this question about asynchrony. So Rakesh.
Synchrony. Okay, I was not getting perspective. You start.
The gifts versus disabilities.
Yeah. So yeah, that the asymmetry between what I can do and what I can't do was always confusing, because all my life I've been seeing all my peers, all my parents, my friends, my sister, everyone handling this real world common those skills, like talking to like
A shopkeeper.
a shopkeeper, or something like that. Very they deal with it so beautifully. I watch them in awe. So like all these things, but then when I try to see, like when I try to replicate that, I am not able to. I don't know what to exactly say. I can mimic their words, but then if they go off script, I get confused. So but then I thought that was something everyone struggled with. But then after a lot of discussion with my sister and all that, I discovered that it's not that it's not
Hard
that
for everyone.
it's not that hard for everyone. But then on the other side, this programming, math and all that came to, like, so it was so like natural to me. So this, and nobody could understand why someone who can do these things can't do the other thing. Even my father used to like be very negative about it. Like I used to like go and cry in my room because I'm not able to keep up with his expectations of my social how do you say,
Issues.
social, like, no, so keep up with the social expectations, like taking the phone and answering and random questions and all that. I never attend phone calls, especially when in the time of land phones. I've never taken a phone call because I don't know how to respond.
Even now, he doesn't attend phone calls. It's all me who attends. If I'm not around, it's going to be
unless it's
unanswered.
someone I know very well and I know why they are calling.
You don't even attend your own parents' phone
No,
calls.
yeah, but I don't know why they are calling. So yeah.
So he's comfortable with asynchronous messaging. So
Yeah, I'm very comfortable. So
Hmm.
yeah, so what helped me there? So social life and school life was all very exhausting for me. After coming back home, I would be spending most of, I've told earlier also, right? I have my plans of my own to maybe work on something, like some of the things I used to do were like some of the things I learned at school, I would come back home and code it to see if it was real. So stuff like that. So, and I also have this belief that if you understand something, you should be able to code it. That's my personal belief. Yeah, so what helped me through this was like not having the, like, sitting in my room doing my thing and not having the downtime, and not much. Also, my father had one advantage, was that he never stressed about my academic scores, and never sent me for tuitions because I was struggling with some subjects and all. He never asked me to do any of those things. He only once in a while he would ask me some random physics question or something, and he would check whether I understood the concept behind it. And when he finds that out, he left me alone. So the worst part was being called lazy. That was
Yeah, we already
that
discussed
we
that.
discussed that part.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Next. So that is my take on asynchrony. So what has actually been helpful for him is not denying the reality. See this struggle of knowing that you have the skills to do these things, but you're hitting a wall somewhere. That frustration is very real. So earlier I used to tell him, no, 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 see, look at the silver lining. But what I understood is that doesn't work with autistics. ADHD, I don't know, maybe it might work a bit on me, but with autistics, the silver lining, that gratitude nonsense, that doesn't work at all. When they are grieving, I love them to grieve. Just sit beside them, validate their feeling that, oh yeah, I understand. I understand that you are not able to do what you want to do. And just be there silently and give them companionship through the pain, because denying it is not fair. That is what I eventually understood.
Because the
So
problem is real.
the problem is very
It's
real
not
for them.
imagined.
It's not because they are trying to be perfectionists or anything. The problem is very real, and going through it is really hard. So we have to accept that it is a hard journey that they are going through. And once he has recovered, maybe I can point him to how much of growth he has made in spite of all this asynchrony over the last few years. I do point it out to him, but only once he is regulated, and it seems to me that he is in a space where he can listen to it. So that is what helps.
Yeah. So yeah.
Is it time yet, or shall we continue?
Yeah, I was thinking if you can like kind of share a few important pointers in the presentation and like conclude it maybe the next 5 minutes. You can just bring up the important points and we can close it. I think this one question we'll take and then Midun will share it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what?
Was the perfectionism or something?
Yeah,
we
this is
talked
something.
about,
Yeah.
right?
You see.
Yeah. So there was this question about how to deal with perfectionism. Yeah. So in my view, there are two kinds of perfectionism that I have seen. One is like trying to make something that the world will see as perfect, beyond criticism and beyond all, like winning all the kind of competitive things and all that. The second one is what I struggle with, that the inability to convert my vision into reality, for like through disability, through the inability to through lack of access and all that. Like I sometimes struggle with. Could you help?
Struggling with uh, like he knows that he has the skill to do it, but he gets stuck somewhere.
Yeah, for example, like right now I'm limited by the AI hardware that we can afford. My company can afford. There, I want, like we can only. I want to train an LLM on my own, but then I know how to do it. I have done small things, but then to make a very large LLM, you need to spend millions of dollars, which like no company will risk. So it is preventing me from going, like experiencing that part of the.
So the lack of access to
Yeah.
to things to reach your potential, that is something that that frustrates you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was talking about two types of perfectionism. What he tried to say there is that one is caused by external criticisms and competitions. There are times when he also went through that. That is why that's why he once gave up on photography. That's why he once gave up on art. And the second kind is the one that we were talking about earlier, the one that comes up because of asynchrony, because he has the ability, but he is hitting a wall. So the first one, yes, it's caused by the society, and that is something that makes you stop, makes you give up.
Yeah.
But what he wanted to say about this thing here is that the second kind of thing, as because of asynchrony, it never made him stop.
Never made me stop.
It only made him desperate. He kept on. He would always come back, trying again and again and again, until he is successful, or sometimes he is not even successful, but he would keep on trying.
Come back to the problem.
He will keep
even after
coming
years.
to the problem even after years. So he doesn't like to call that perfectionism. That is just a reality.
Mona Lisa was painted over 15 years. So, like, you cannot call it's like it takes that time for
Yeah.
certain things. So, yeah.
So that is not perfectionism. So the differentiation is something he wanted to stress on. Since he's an AI engineer, we'll conclude with this question: the strength-based approach for Gen Z in an AI era. Can you take that?
Yeah, it's not a very easy question to answer because all
You talk about this all the time in this house.
Yeah, I know that because it's very vast. Uh, so, and also, and all the, like I've written there, all the familiar frameworks that we know are shattering, and we exactly can't predict what is lying ahead. I, for one, see, I like all my life, technology has always helped me personally. Even AI is personally helping me right now, every day. So, I see it as a positive. There are a lot of negatives also. So, but then I prefer to take the positive out of it because it's there anyway. So, in a world with AI, school and college degrees might not matter. What matters is our ability to adapt new skills, our emotional intelligence, because AIs don't have that yet, and all of that. And so
Take the best out of AI.
we need to take, like, I use AI as an accommodation tool. Actually, it helps me with communication sometimes when I'm not struggling to communicate, struggling to find the exact way to phrase something or something like that. It helps me. But then I see this over reliance on AI also by people, like they offload their thinking to the artificial intelligence, which is not very ideal. I want kids who use AI to see the AI as a peer and not their
Not an
external,
authority
not an external
mentality.
brain or something like that.
And also understanding how AI works could help.
If a friend tells you something, you will take it with a grain of salt, right? Or you will have a skepticism. You won't just believe them.
Every human being should actually have that independent thinking to take anything anyone says with a grain of salt, right? That is one skill that we have to inculcate in our kids, independent thinking. Because we know cases where teachers have guided
But there is this talk about AI causing suicides and all, but then therapists cause suicides. Teachers cause suicide. We don't ban teachers. We don't ban. So
we have to equip kids to be able to understand what AI is, what it is good at, what it is not good at, and always trust on their own internal, independent thinking to take their decisions.
Yeah. Practice good judgment.
Good judgment.
Yeah.
That's it.
Right? Yeah. So thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Hitha. Thank you, Rakesh. We'll just take questions, or do you want to conclude?
Yeah, sure.
You're okay with taking a couple of questions?
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. You've been great. And the way that you guys have told your story and how you addressed each question was very interesting. And I think all the parents here also related so much. I'll just take Shweda's question now. Shweda, would you like to go ahead with your question?
Hello.
Hi, Shweta.
Hi. So with regards to the conversation you guys shared that like while you guys were growing up, people around you felt that you guys are capable but lazy and don't want to do it. So I am a mother to a 8-year-old ASD ADHD, and he is non-speaking. So and there is an intense sensory profile as well. So the entire day is lined up with sensory diet, speech therapy, occupational therapy, plus the other activities that ought to keep him busy. So while I am not very persuasive about him doing something all the time, how as a parent, how do I figure out where to draw the line? Because if I just leave him by himself, he'll be the happiest lazing on, I wouldn't say lazing around, but just being by himself and doing the things that he like, which is basically nothing. And at the same time, I just at least want to bring him up on a functional level where he's able to lead a decently independent life. So as a parent, how and where do I draw the line?
So,
It's a difficult question.
but one thing I have to say is, when it seems like he is not doing anything, uh, a whole world might be running inside his brain. He might be doing
Yeah,
with his, because they can do things inside their head which
correct,
we cannot. So uh, that is exactly the kind of downtime he says he needs. And
correct.
if you see Rakesh on a daily basis is functioning, there will be
Hmm.
at least 3-4 hours of him just lying around, scrolling through things,
Looking
going
at the
through,
ceiling.
looking at the ceiling. But then, even when he is working on a project, he is sleeplessly working on a project
Well,
for
I
to an
should the
outside. Are you trying to say anything?
Yeah, so I should allow him the time that he needs all by himself, despite the functional
Yeah,
milestones that we
demands of
have
the,
to cater
yeah.
to.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I believe if given that time, of course, the other therapies and everything are necessary, but
And that
then
might also be draining.
that might be draining.
Yes.
So you have to pace them out. And for cues about where to draw the line, I think observe the child more.
Hmm.
About when he's feeling tired, when he's seeming like out of, like disturbed and everything, we'll have to look at, because this is an individual thing. What the
Yeah,
limit is for Rakesh will not be the limit for the other kid, for your kid. So
correct.
for cues.
Yes. All right. Okay. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot for sharing your journey.
Sure. Thank you.
Somebody wanted to see the 35th slide.
35th slide. Okay. Which is
That's
that?
what identity, I think, if you would like to address a point on that.
Which was the
Let's
35th
see.
slide?
35.
Identity.
Identity and belonging. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Intellectual
Are you
loneliness.
sharing now? No, right?
No.
Yeah,
We can
just
just not share. Okay.
no, they wanted to see it, no?
Okay, sure. Can share. So, yeah. Yeah. So intellectual loneliness. Yeah. I've always been lonely. I don't- like I don't know how to talk about intellectual. I am not saying intellectual loneliness. Yes, yeah, there are things in my head that I don't have anyone to talk to about. There are things that I find out every day. I learn some beautiful things every day. Like something might be very mathematical that I don't, she might not understand. Something that increases the efficiency of a neural network by 0.1% is something is beautiful to me, but then it's not exciting for 0.1% is not exciting for anyone. So except maybe a few crowd who are specializing in this, but then meeting them is very hard. So and that takes communication. So yeah, yeah. So what was I trying? So what I have always believed was like like I said, I used to observe people doing commonplace things like going to a shop I watch that with fascination because I find that curious about them doing that, and I believe everyone I meet will have something to learn from. I
For you to learn from.
yeah, for me to learn from, and I have that deep curiosity for people that
He
way.
really has that curiosity for people. He just don't want to communicate with them.
Yeah, I would like to observe them, but then
Currently, the observations are all on Twitter and social media, going, reading people's comments and everything, understanding other perspectives and everything. So that's how he develops his social skills and
And
understanding about the
as a kid, I
society.
used to watch TV. Like there was this show called Boy Meets World when I was growing up. That actually helped me a lot with learning how to like talk to friends, and there was this teacher in there who used to give these lessons every day, and it was all useful for me like to learn. But then the way I dealt with the world became very incompatible with the culture in Kerala because of that. So
Because it was based on
it's a US based show, so it's like a culture of US. So
yeah.
yeah, so
Then
yeah, you are part.
yeah. So my take on this is that compelling them to make friends never works. So if, when we found out about Rakesh's autism, there was a phase when I thought that okay, now he's going to make friends with a lot of autistics, which he definitely did. But then there was this whole process where I could not force him to be friends with, find friends or anything. I had to let things happen on its own organically. Um, Regarding children, I can say about my experience with my niece. Like there were situations when I found out that she was having struggles with finding friends. So even there, what helped me to help her at that point was just sitting and talking to her about what was going on. About I had this conversation about her regarding what happens in and around school, what other kids do. Like she wouldn't volunteer these information,
And it's not like planned either. It's like it's a conversation that happens every day, and one
yeah,
day she would
yeah,
randomly.
we would have conversations on a regular basis. She was used to having us prying with questions. So eventually we understood that she was having struggle with friendships, and we then we asked more questions and more questions, and we understood that this is where she is struggling. Basically, she did not. She thought other kids should come and talk to her and call her up for playing. She saw all other kids playing together, and she was left alone. She did not know that she could just voluntarily go there and just join the gang and try to be with them. So she had to be told that you can go, and if it's hard for you to go into the group, you can just you can look around for other kids who are standing around lonely alone. You could just go and talk to them, ask them their name. I even gave her questions she could ask. And this whole thing, there was this whole week of having conversations with her. And by the end of it, I think she made a few friends. So that same thing had happened with Rakesh as well. When he's having a conversation with someone, especially when it is an autistic on the other side, he made a lot of friends with autistics through online chat and Instagram and all that. So in those asynchronous conversations, when that happened, uh, I have to once in a while remind him that, okay, did you ask what this person is doing? Did you ask him this question? Did you ask him that question? Because he automatically doesn't know, he doesn't remember that he has to ask questions to keep that communication going. He really wants to keep the communication going. He really wants to make friendships, but then he does not know until given that like that slight
Also,
pointers.
there's this thing about not forgetting that they exist. sometimes it's like for like
Out of sight, out
yeah,
of
when
mind.
they're out of sight, I lose track of them.
Yeah. But that has never been a problem between neurodivergent
yeah,
friends.
because
They are all like
they're
that, so we are
yeah,
all
also they're
understanding
always
about it.
online.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, that helps.
Yeah, so and if parents want to help kids, like we said, listen and also try to talk to them about their special interest. That's the only way we can get them talking. And there was this therapist. So Rakesh goes into this non-speaking mode once in a while. He goes mute and he'll be talking only through typing. That is when things are too overwhelming. So he had therapy one day. This is a trick I learned from his therapist. He had therapy one day while he was non-communicating. So through chat, he told his therapist that, okay, I am going through this phase. I cannot talk and all that. So then the therapist said, okay, I'll talk. You can reply back in typing. And then she started talking about what was the topic then? Some rocket or some SpaceX something that she had heard about that happened a few days ago, and she just kept on talking about it, and he started talking. Talking with voice. He forgot that he was mute till a while ago, because when his special interest was talked about, so this is something his therapist did purposely, because she knew that these are his special
But it
interests.
took I think
Yeah.
45 minutes, but
Yeah.
yes.
At
She
the
was
end of the
talking about
45.
random many things, and I was nodding. And then
Finally, she found out one topic that made
because
you
I
talk.
had a criticism about that. So
That couldn't be typed out.
no.
So then, if you want to make a connection with two kids, we have to learn their special interests. If I had not learned about, if I didn't have common special interests with Rakesh, I would never make a connection with him. So our connection has grown deeper ever since I started understanding coding and understanding technology. So yeah, that was the 35th slide.
Yeah, that was very interesting as well. I think we would have missed the slide if Richa hadn't asked for it. We'll just take one last question from Kapu. Kapu, will you be able to ask a question directly? Kalpagoeli?
Yeah, hi Hita. This is about the self-advocacy, like how parents can advocate till the point the child reaches, like advocating for themselves. So that is one. This is on the children perspective. And two, as adults, like looking back your own journey, like how are you self-advocating your needs currently? Because as adults, there are expectations set on you, right? Like as you were saying, in the work environment the expectations didn't match and you had to form a team right? So that was still in a controlled environment, but when you are out in the world, how do you advocate your needs?
Advocacy for parents. Where do we start? So the thing is, it's really hard to make changes in people's thought process if they don't have at least a slight inkling for changing, slight tendency to listen. There are a lot of people out there who are not willing to listen to to anyone else's perspectives, be it even their own loved ones, own children. So advocacy is something that is that leaves us leaves us disappointed when we try to do it person by person. It's a lot more easier to do it online, or in spaces like these where we are welcome to talk about our difficulties. Um, of course, there are places where we have to advocate, and more often than not, they end up being strong boundaries being drawn, and relationships cut off. For instance, we told you we had been taking on different jobs from 2023 to 2025, and until we found this current employer of ours in 2025, we did advocate, but nothing worked. But here we are not even required to advocate a lot, because there is a lot of willingness to listen, willingness to understand, because this person is a neurodivergent himself. Neurodivergent as in not technically diagnosed, or he is dyslexic, but then he relates a lot with our difficulties. So he has that tendency to listen. So there are a lot of places where we try to advocate, but then now we know there is no point in spending too much of our energy trying to make people understand things. We can only draw boundaries. So we do start trying to advocate with individual people, but then at the first sign that, okay, this is the wrong person to expect support from, we just
But then they
take a
might not
step
have a
back.
choice if it's a teacher.
Yeah, I know there is no choice there when it is a teacher. We can only fight there. I haven't found a way of making people understand. We can keep advocating. We can, if there are other parents of other neurodivergent kids who are going through the same issue, you can
Form a team.
form a team and work on it. And also talk to your kids. If a teacher is being mean, tell the kid straight away that the teacher is being mean. It is not your problem. Validate the child that it is the teacher problem. It is not the child problem. We cannot always safeguard them from whatever the realities of life. Even if my parents were more supportive, I am sure I would have gone through a lot of problems all around me in school and everything. There were a lot of problems.
Yeah, there were teachers who called me useless.
Yeah, of course. There were teachers who slut shamed me. So these are things parents might not be able to control. To an extent, parents will also, what parents can do is, when the child is back home and struggling to make sense of what happened with the teacher, we can reframe things in their mind and put the blame where it belongs. And there is no Mada Pita Guru Devam hierarchy thing. Tell it outright that, okay, this guru is not worth your respect. This guru is outright wrong. I would believe that would help. And we neurodivergent people are all about honesty, all about genuineness. So no faking it, no sweet talk kind of stuff. Say it as it is.
There's no satisfying answer for this.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Sadly, no satisfying answer for this, but be there with the kid through
Most
the
of
way.
my advocacy is online, so
Yeah. No, we do try to advocate
yeah.
in person, but we haven't yet been successful even with our parents on a large scale.
Yeah.
There has been changes, of course. There has been changes, but the thing is, the changes are like very minute.
Not the
So
speed that we want.
not at the speed that not at the speed that it would make any real meaningful change in our life. So yeah, we can only keep trying.
Thank you both of you. And I just want to say a thank you note. It's been what to say, listening to you, I can listen all day. Okay. It's kind of a cumulative learning insights from, like, so far the books that we have read, workshops we have done, webinars we have attended, therapists we have met, all for our kids. This is like a cumulative insight. You can get the recording, go back again and again, and we will get the answers for all of our questions. And the best explanations for autonomy, for asynchrony, like especially the identity and belonging, I really loved it. So, and thank you so much for sharing some of your very personal, journey here, which we haven't done anywhere else. So thank you for that. Love and respect for the parents here. We have learned immensely. So it's just like leaving with a thought from Big Bang Theory. You both were like Sheldon and Amy as a couple, and Sheldon and Penny as a friend and a companion. So lovely.
That's
We
the
wish
biggest
our
honor.
boys would get a Hitha.
I
And
wish
yeah, of
they
course, girls would get a
girls could get a Rakesh as well.
Of
Yeah.
course, you both complement each other so beautifully. It's
Thank
it's
you.
it's
Thank
been
you.
lovely to listening to you. Thank you for doing this.
Yeah, it was a wonderful opportunity, and this space was actually, I didn't think I would be able to talk this much, but it was a very receptive space. So thank you so much. We
We
had
will
so
find
much
more
fun
ways to
there.
connect with you.
Definitely, always open to kind of getting to know neurodivergent people and neurodivergent allies. Always.
Thank you, Hitha. Thank you,
Thank
Rakesh.
you so much.
Thank you, Rakesh and Hitha. I don't think I could have said it better. I'll just ask Mithun to say a word on
No,
this,
no,
and we'll.
I think Kapu summed it up well, right? I think, so I think I will just put a, I mean, you can like anecdote of like how I met Ragesh and Hita, right? I was walking on a mall, I think like almost like 500 meters away, Ragesh had identified that it is me, and we had never met in real life. And I was like so surprised on how he's able to remember my face from just seeing it in a online image. And I think a lot of times, like in our conversation, always have been like, I mean, very neurodivergent. It doesn't like we'll speak in parts, then we'll not speak for like months, and then we'll speak in parts again, and then that goes on. And I think one time they planned to come and meet me, and we had a meeting in a cafe over there. I mean, for me, like I mean, it's just normally to go for a cafe, right? But then I realized like how much effort they had put into come for that meeting and spend that time with me as well. So thanks a lot for doing it. And there was one incident where I think their apartment went under the water. I mean, there was some flood or something happening. And in my head, I'm like, how is Rakesh going to be in that apartment when the first or ground floor is flooded? I mean, what in this scenario could help him plan for like like an incident like that? But I think these guys managed it well. So I mean, so good to have you guys here. And
We have disaster kits
yeah.
and so
Did he hear that?
I don't know. No,
He was saying we have disaster kits set up. Just the Sheldon thing you mentioned.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thanks a lot for doing this talk, guys. I mean, and thanks Kapu for organizing this. I think I mean this has been a wonderful start. I mean, I feel like we shouldn't keep tab on our hours for this conversation. And I'm sorry to cut off. I think Preetham and I think one more person I cut it off in the middle when they're talking. Really sorry for that because I know that like the neurodivergent tend to just start sharing and then keep having the conversation going without caring about the world existing. That could always be there. But so I mean, so thankful that we had parents, we had neurodivergent adults, we had educators, and so many of us joining us for this. Thanks. I mean, thanks a lot for this conversation, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys. You've been lovely. So we'll just end the session. Thank you everyone for attending. You've been an amazing audience. I think we have, well past short our time, but everybody has been really great. So thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah.